him. But we have a couple of more people to interview. And we now head over to Derry, where we speak with Anthony Lancaster, who organized a demonstration by the Free Derry Wall, which is probably one of the most famous landmarks in the 6 counties, a show of resistance. Although I was over there in July, and the whole area of the Bogside now looks like MoMA. The murals that are going up. I mean, there was one particular mural I looked at, and it said about people of peace, and they had Mother Teresa, John Hume, and Nelson Mandela. And you look at it and you say, well, last I remember, Nelson Mandela was with the ANC. I don't remember Mother Teresa leading an army in Calcutta.
He was actually with Unconquerable Seasway, which was the armed wing of the ANC.
Right.
It would be like the Irish Republican Army and Sinn Féin, so yes.
But, Anthony, that there have been some changes in that area, the Bogside, of putting out a different message than that used to come out of the Bogside of resistance.
Yeah, today's protest is one of those examples. It was a well-turned-out protest. It was for the Free Derry 4 anti-internment. And the Bogside, as you say, is full of murals. It's basically become a Republican Disneyland for tourists.
You know what? It really is. When I was down there, everybody was just taking photographs. You stand here. I mean, there was the time that there was actual resistance going on, and we were interviewing Anthony McIntyre, and the resistance seems to be now of painting mailboxes green. That's the form of resistance that's going on.
That's right. It's very, very ironic when you get to the young original Sinn Féin members painting their letterboxes green to proclaim their Irishness, and yet the senior party itself, during a recent hunger strike commemoration in Derry, find themselves painting out slogans on walls proclaiming the innocence of the Derry 4 and the anti-internment stance the 32 Sovereignty movement is taken against these people at the minute.
Well, Anthony, maybe you can explain who are the Derry 4 and why were you protesting today?
Basically what the Derry 4 is and why it's protesting, which basically started off with their families and a few individuals, now has actually spiraled, very nearly out of control with support. To take it back a wee bit, the Derry 4 were 4 actual fellows in Derry who were members of the 32 Sovereignty movement. And because Derry's proximity to the border, as you know yourself, most daily economic reasons, people will go across the border either for petrol, diesel, for their own groceries. And these fellows actually just went across the border to get diesel for their car for a run. And they were arrested by the Free State government on behalf of I believe, Stormont administration here in the north. And this is just a pure instance of a superintendent within the Garda Síochána. We're held now on membership charges of drugs in the hearing. That's basically the reason behind it all.
And who was who spoke today down at the Free Derry Wall?
Well, there was speakers from the IRSP, there were speakers from the Republican Network for Unity, and Jan Santi Maggie delivered a main oration on behalf of the 32 Sovereignty movement, which is actually was received, but absolutely brilliant, you know. It's actually a great place to speak at Free Derry Corner because of the history, and it's very ironic that we were standing there so long after internment was first introduced to speak about internment again. It wasn't lost on the people there today, you know. Yeah,
and to see the wall mural of Bernadette Devlin just right across from there, looking down at you guys, I guess, as you were speaking there. But one of the people that you were protesting about who's being held in Portlaoise Prison is Gary Donnelly, who was a frequent guest on this show. Is there any update on Gary, and how's he doing?
Well, Gary's doing relatively well. He had a young wean last week there, and his partner, you know, was down in Portlaoise, was the actual child, which was only 2 weeks old, was subjected to a strip search, was refused then to be allowed to be changed. You know, this is the kind of harassment that Gary's receiving and his visitors down there at the minute. I've actually had the pleasure of talking to him during the commemoration today, and it was absolutely brilliant. It was just highlighting the fact that how many people had turned up for him, and he's a very, very well-respected fellow within the Derry community.
Yeah, well, next time you're talking to him, give him our best from on this side of the Atlantic.
Oh, definitely. Well, like I appreciate the fact that he's phoned today and was able to express our support for the prisoners and your support. It's deeply appreciated, and thanks a lot.
Well, Anthony, maybe highlight some of the harassment that's going on about, instead of painting mailboxes in County Tyrone green, that they're actually covering up supportive graffiti and wall murals for people like Gary Donnelly. What's going on there?
Well, at the minute, to be totally honest with you, as our newspapers reflect here in the north of Ireland, especially in Derry, there's a sustained harassment campaign against the 32 sovereignty movement. Our members are being constantly harassed and stopped. I've never seen the like of it in the years of the struggle. Anthony McIntyre will probably be able to allude to the reason behind this, why people's getting such harassment. Our murals, our political graffiti is getting painted out as quick as we put it up. Our cars belonging to our members are being seized by the PSNI, RUC. Our families, our homes are being raided. We're practically followed on the streets with these individuals. It's absolutely outrageous campaign at the minute,
So the peace process is going well?
Well, it was going well for the British, it wouldn't be going well for Republicans.
Well, it's going well for probably Provisional Sinn Féin.
Oh, it's a dream for them. I don't know how they can get their head around the situation when we got Republicans locked up, and then the outrageous scenario of Republicans claiming to support an occupying police force. Never has it been heard of in Irish history that you can be a Republican and support an occupying police force. It just doesn't add up. It's absolutely, I don't know, it's confusing. I think it's confusing for everyone.
Right. Well, Anthony, any final words? Because we have to cover another case that's going on, a court case over in County Tyrone with Jerry McGill. But any final words? Yeah,
I just want to thank you for phoning and showing an interest in the Derry 4. And as I say, thanks very, very much for your support. And I've just asked all your listeners in America to keep the Derry 4 in mind, because I believe if they do get convicted and if they do go to jail, it's going to really open the door. We'll just be basically cornered here in the north. We'll not be able to go across the border if you're a political activist at all. It's very, very important that people realise the significance of this trial and these 4 fellas. If it happens to them, it most definitely will happen to more people after.
Well, we'll be covering that trial as it happens in Dublin. But thanks for coming on.
And give me a regard to Jerry and Anthony, and thanks very, very much for phoning.
No, we will do. We're going to go to a song now by Mary Courtney. And where's she playing? And this is